Hey everyone, welcome back. Joining us, to join us on the Engadget Podcast live stream. We're recording live as always, and everything is crazy. I'm senior editor Devendra Hardawar. I'm joined with Sherlyn Lowe, our reviews editor, our podcast producer Ben Ellman. It's been a very busy week for all of us, so my brain is kind of just fried. But yeah, we've got a fun show. We'll be talking about Epic v. Apple, and we've got a fun guest on for that. So stay tuned. And we'll get to all your questions soon. We don't have much time to do this ahead of the show, so we'll just get right into it. As always, we'll try to do Q&A in between segments and things like that, okay? So sit tight, hold on, put your questions down, and we'll try to follow all those things.
Grab your butts, people.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. Not grab your butts. That's something else.
Now, what was that from?
Grab your butts. Listen.
Can you remind me what that is from, or is
That's
that
Jurassic
just
Park?
from...
Hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts. Okay. All right, we guys good to go?
Yes.
And everything on silent, by the way.
Oh yes.
Good reminder. I need to
silent check.
Because I am
everybody listening at home. Silence check, please.
Do I have this on mute?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm sure it's the usual crew. I'm not seeing the chat, but I can just feel it.
I'm about to.
We've got Sakurat Agarwal in the chat. We've got Stephen Johnson. We've got Mark Dell, our brand ambassador, our onboarding specialist, and also an admin of the Engadget Podcast Discord that has no relation to Engadget.
The unofficial.
Yes,
Discord,
the unofficial. Sure. Let's just be super aware of any liability or anything there, but like the unofficial Engadget Discord. But thank you for starting that. Like that is really cool. It's nice to have a community.
For sure. Our only official chat is the YouTube channel. Yeah.
We've also got R7M,
RBLX. Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
And Deepak Samwani.
All right, let's jump right into it. We will talk to all of you during the break, okay? Let's go in 3, 2, 1. What's up, Internet, and welcome back to the Engadget Podcast. I'm senior editor Devendra Hardawar.
I'm reviews editor Sherlyn Lowe.
Today, we're going to be talking about the bonkers, wild, Epic v. Apple court battle and what it means for the app economy. This has been going on since last week, and every day it just seems like there are new revelations that kind of give us a better sense of like how this business of the app world and the App Store works and what it means for competitors too. As always, you can... As always, please subscribe to the Engadget Podcast on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. Leave us a review on iTunes. That's always helpful. And drop us a note at podcast@engadget.com. Do that again. Drop us a note at podcast@engadget.com. You can also join us Thursdays around 10 a.m. Eastern for our live stream on our YouTube channel. And if you do that, you can join in for some Q&A too, which is always fun. And you may even end up on the show. Okay. Let's jump right into Epic v. Apple and everything going on here. And to chat about it, we have a great guest who has been on before to help us break down the GameStop stock situation. It's Mike Futter, founder of S-Squared Consulting, author of the Game Dev Business Handbook, and co-host of the Virtual Economy podcast. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me back.
No problem. No problem. It's always informative. And also, you have a great sense of this business because... This is great because I've seen the news flying around for the past week. I've had my heads down like writing and doing reviews and other stuff. So can you just like tell us, first of all, from a high level, what is going on? Why is Epic and Apple fighting?
I mean, if it depends on who you talk to, because what Epic is saying is that Apple is controlling the App Store, that they have complete monopolistic control. And what that means is there is no room for competition. There's no room for third-party stores to come in. There's not even room for third-party payment processing, which is actually what kicked this whole thing off with Fortnite. Gotcha. So obviously going all the way back to 2008, when the App Store started and Steve Jobs said, look, we're charging this fee, and that's so that we can make the store. It's, if we break even, great. That's kind of the goal here. And as we have learned, especially in that first few days of the trial, with all of the documents dropping and all of the information coming out, it more than breaks even now. The App Store is quite the moneymaker for Apple.
For sure. And I mean, it's worth, like, let's take that step back to 2008, right? Because I don't think even Apple knew what the App Store would be. And none of us kind of really knew the fact that we'd basically be living in app stores. Like, this would be the dominant form of distributing software. When they launched the iPhone, there was nothing, right? There were just web apps, and Apple's like, deal with that. That's how you get software on your iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think if you look at kind of as things evolve, not just on mobile phones, you look at Steam and you look at the console marketplaces, which evolved through the very, very beginning of the Xbox and PlayStation 2 era, but in earnest in the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era. So what emerged, and it's remarkable to me that even 5 years ago, I don't think it was common knowledge what that revenue share was. I think that now, you ask anybody, what's the revenue share? Well, it's 30%. 30% is the default. But 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't think most people knew that. Most consumers certainly didn't know that. So there has been this evolution of information in an industry that is relatively secretive with its data. But at the time, Apple was saying, look, we're going to create this app store. We're going to create this marketplace where people can easily find your apps. And they can easily put them on their phones in a safe way. And we're going to charge you for that. And we know that fee is of course, 30%. And at the time, I think developers were excited about the fact that there was going to be an easy way to deliver. Just like with Steam, there was this beauty of having automatic patching.
Right.
In a single place where people could go find your game, and you'd have access to this huge market. It was all boats rise with the tide. But what happened, and the App Store was the first place we saw this, there was discoverability issues that started to pop up because so many apps started to flood the App Store. That benefit of reaching consumers started to become muted. And people started to question relatively early on, why are we paying 30% for this? And that has been the prevailing question. And if you look at the GDC State of the Industry survey that just came out, very few developers that responded to that survey, and there were thousands of respondents, think that Steam, for instance, earns its 30%. And I don't recall if they asked about app stores or in general, or if it was just about Steam, but I think the idea was that the cut needs to be lower now. So Apple has in part lost control of the messaging around the store. And through expert testimony and a lot of the documents that have dropped during the first week of the case, especially, we found out that Steve Jobs' idea of we're going to charge this 30% to break even has amounted to what we calculate out to be over $4 billion in 2020 from the App Store.
Amazing. And Sherlyn, I mean, you've been following all this stuff too, and probably from a different angle too, but do you have any thoughts about where we are now when it comes to app stores and kind of the control Apple and Google and the platform makers have? Do you think Epic kind of has a point here?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's a different conversation, that last bit, whether Epic has a point. I think, sure, Epic has to an extent a point, but I have to question the interest when a big company like Epic, and sometimes a company like Facebook, when they go against giant like Apple because they aren't happy with a certain setting or a certain policy, and then they say, no, it's on behalf of all these small businesses. To a certain extent, I think they have a point, but I'm not so sure about their overall interest being the welfare of all these other competitors in the market with them. I will say I am one of those people, Mike, that didn't know that 30% number up until today when you just said it like 5 minutes ago too. So I'm not even familiar with what what Google charges through the Play Store, what kind of a cut it's taking out of there. But I feel as if Google makes it a little bit easier for developers to do in-app purchases and stuff like that. They, Apple seems to have issues with that because, according to them, it's a potential privacy vulnerability. People can charge you and scam your entire phone from there. So I get it. I kind of get it from Apple's point of view on that. But it does seem like forcing all these app developers to be your way or the highway is kind of overbearing. And for Epic, the company that has the legal money to probably go against Apple, is I guess better than forcing all these smaller companies to have to band together to talk to Apple. I actually would rather hear what the smaller developers have to say about this. Do we know if any of them have come up to talk about that?
Well, I mean, I think Epic's idea here was that, they have the resources in order to fight this fight. And some of the internal documents that came out were acknowledging internally that Epic is not a sympathetic party when it comes to fighting Apple, because as you said, we're talking about two mega corporations clashing. So there were some things that Epic did. They had their Project Liberty campaign, which was their propaganda campaign in order to sway people onto their side. And part of that was the Coalition for App Fairness, which they co-founded, which is trying to make it not just about Epic, but about that whole developer economy that is subject to that 30% and can't do anything about it from their perspective.
Can we talk about that Project Liberty?
We can,
thing, by the way, because we discussed it last year when this kind of all started happening, which was the wild 1984-esque commercial Epic put out. It was basically a whole campaign, right? Like this was the campaign, was they had this marketing strategy that they would do this big pushback against Apple. Epic started rallying its partners, but the thing Epic did, I believe a letter was sent, first of all, asking, they sent a letter to Apple, right? And to Tim Cook asking, hey, can we just have another app store on your platform? And of course the answer is no. Yeah. Who are you? Why would I allow that on my platform? And then they did this thing in Fortnite. They sent an update to Fortnite, which basically had the messaging, hey, if you want to save some money, go get your Fortnite bucks. Where are they? V-Bucks? Yeah. Go get your bucks on the web. Because if you buy it on the web, we're not being charged a commission by Apple.
Oh, it was even more than that. It was they put an alternative payment processing mechanism inside the app, which is absolutely a violation of
No. So that's like all the red flags. Apple's like, I could just imagine Tim Cook in his office just fuming because he knows what's going to happen. He's like, I'm gonna have to put a stop to this, but it will cause a tidal wave in the industry. But hey, it's 2021. Is it time, do you guys think, for Apple to kind of start reconsidering the way its App Store works? Because there are a lot of weird limitations, right? Because app makers have to they get charged 30% from Apple with any in-app transaction. So a lot of companies, I think we've read in the various reporting, like Amazon actually has kind of a sweet deal with Apple because they get charged less. And I think that's the main thing, right? Epic was kind of annoyed that they couldn't get a sweet deal. I think they even mentioned during the trial that, hey, if Apple had just offered us a better price, we wouldn't be having this whole legal fight right now. So there is all of that, but there's also like the restrictions, right? You can only use Apple's payment processor. You cannot even acknowledge that there are probably cheaper and other ways to access your services or your apps or anything within the app. Like even if you can buy that stuff on the web, and this is a strategy, I believe, Netflix and Spotify took on, right? Like where you cannot sign up for new subscriptions within the iOS apps. You have to go to the web. The iOS apps are only receptacle, and Amazon did this for a while too, actually still does it with Prime Video and Comixology and things like that. You can't subscribe to these services within the app because an Apple would take a cut of that subscription price. So they push you to the web to do it. So a lot of companies are doing this. You just can't explicitly tell users to go do that too. That is also a no-no, which to me seems unfair at this point. But that is kind of it, right, Mike? Like everyone's just pushing back against all these various restrictions right now.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there were some other things that came out when the suit was first emerging, and the WordPress story is one that I'm reminded of, where they were trying to force WordPress to offer payments and subscriptions in the app, even though they're like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give you the 30%. They're like, no, if you offer them on your website, and as you said, if you even mention them, like you have to put it in the app and we have to get our cut.
Yeah.
So that was a whole thing that was interesting. When the day this all happened, it was like a game of Yu-Gi-Oh. And
yes.
Because Epic pushes out the hot fix, which puts the payment plan in, and of course Apple reacts and pulls it. And it's like, you triggered my trap card. Now here's the lawsuit that we had all ready to go.
Here's a lawsuit. Here's the marketing campaign. Here's everything. We're ready for this. Yeah.
Yep. And that marketing campaign is, I think, probably Epic's biggest stumble in this whole thing, because I think they were counting on the press, because they sent out press kits with T-shirts and the free Fortnite stickers that look like the Apple stickers with the llama.
Please free the biggest game in the world, the game that just sits back and prints money. Please free it from the confines of this bigger fish that is currently eating us. Yeah.
And we know how much Fortnite made, right? And we know how much the royalties were and how much they paid to Apple versus how much they paid to Microsoft and Sony. So
Can you give us a sense of those figures, Mike?
Sure. I have them right in front of me.
While you're saying that, I mean, I want to point out that our live stream chat, we're going to just mention them during the audio show in portions today, but they do bring up Mark Dell, one of our regulars, says that I love that when Epic were asked if they got a special deal just for them, would they take it? And they said they would.
Absolutely.
Did this come up? Yeah. So this definitely shows they're not really there for the other little companies. This whole campaign, this whole Project Liberty or CFAAF thing, it seems very insincere. It doesn't come from the intentions they say it is. And also, of course, that both companies are just looking out for themselves. These are huge billionaires. And our producer said this is a billionaire slap fight.
Absolutely.
You know what? That's a great way to put it. So I have the info on the royalties. Yes. So from January 2017 through October 2020, Apple was paid $237 million by Epic. All right. So that's over a 3-year period, almost 27, 29, almost 4 years period. In 2020 alone, Microsoft received $245 million from Epic. So in 1 year, the most recent year, Microsoft received more than Apple over a period of 4 years. Sony was $451 million in 2020. So you get a sense that revenue-wise, Apple is not a huge piece of the pie. However, what we know is that 20% of Fortnite players were only on iOS. So of all the Fortnite players there are. So that also came out as well. What we're seeing is there is a mismatch between players and purchasing because 12% also used iOS. So more than 10% of players play on one platform and then also play on iOS. So what could be happening is if those are paying players, which of course it's a free-to-play game, so there's a difference. It could be that people are playing some on iOS but not purchasing on iOS.
Okay.
Now Sony has figured out a way around this. Now remember, they were holdouts on the whole cross-platform thing. And we found out through document drops and testimony that Sony has a special deal with Epic where there's a ratio of playtime to spend. And if that ratio gets out of whack, Epic has to make it up.
It's the wildest formula I've seen in a while. And let's be clear here. So you're talking about crossplay, which is the idea that you can play against other people on other platforms. So Fortnite players can play, if you're on Xbox, you can play somebody on PlayStation or on Switch or PC
or mobile.
Or mobile. The thing is, this is also all Epic. Epic was also the big company kind of pushing that, right? Because of Fortnite. Everyone's like, look, we got this great metaverse game. It's a shame all these players can't play together. Maybe you console makers should figure out, your beef. So my game can be more successful across every single platform. And they kind of got their wish, right?
They did. And it was Rocket League and Psyonix that kind of opened the door on this with PlayStation PC cross-compatibility. And then people started asking questions, and Epic accidentally turned it on PlayStation for a day. And I think people are like, you didn't accidentally do that.
Yeah.
Like,
they're such drama queen. Yeah. This is such a drama queen move. Like, oops.
So the whole thing here is that crossplay is one piece of the puzzle. It's the cross progression and unified accounts that really is where the money issue comes in. So Sony's saying, if we have a lot of people who are playing on our platform, but they're purchasing on the PC, they're going to the PC to purchase their V-Bucks because they don't want to add a credit card to PlayStation Network because they're still sore over the hack from a decade ago.
God.
Or they purchase on mobile, or they purchase on Microsoft or on Switch. We don't get a cut of that money, but we're still providing services because they're playing on our platform. And because at the time Sony was the platform that did not have a paywall between players and free-to-play games. Microsoft recently announced that they're going to be putting free-to-play games in front of the paywall as well. But that's a huge change. So Sony's worry was people are going to play a lot on our platform, but they're not going to purchase, so we're not going to get any of that revenue. So they struck this deal. Now, if Apple had turned around and struck a similar deal with Epic, I don't know that we would be here today.
Yeah,
because
that's it.
Everybody would be happy.
They just want to be treated specially. And I will say there is certainly a direct effect of Epic's lawsuit here because it was this past October. Apple announced that, hey, we are going to lower the commission. We're going to lower that fee for smaller developers. So developers making less than $1 million, $1 million a year, they're only going to be taking 15%. Which sounds that's kind of a big shift.
Awesome.
Awesome. But there are stats there because I'm taking this from the New York Times reporting. 98% of developers, that includes 98% of developers who are now living with a 15% commission. But according to Sensor Tower's research, more than 95% of Apple's app revenues are from companies that are paying the full 30% rate. So
like it's not a big difference.
2% of companies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is 2% of companies that is like producing all the App Store revenue for Apple. Which
it's
is
even thornier though.
Wow. Yeah.
This whole thing is even thornier because you have to apply for this program. And if you make over $1 million, you get kicked out of the program and then have to reapply in the next year. So instead of taking like 15% on the first million and then kicking it up to 30%, for the million and first dollar and beyond, they have this weird program thing that makes it very, very tricky. So you have one breakout hit or you do slightly better and suddenly you've lost 15% of your revenue. You're paying them that extra 15% if you go over that million. So you don't want to be too successful if you're small.
You just want to try to like hold it under $1 million.
Yep.
Kind of a weird thing. And also, like, let's talk about what's going on with app stores too. To get around the Android commission, didn't Epic just pull Fortnite from the Google store as well? Like, people were sideloading it at a certain point.
Yeah, they added a sideload option. I think they removed it and then they put it back.
Yeah.
They removed it. They had their sideload option, which comes with a series of warnings. Obviously, you're sideloading an APK. So they put it back, and we're like, that's kind of interesting that they decided to put it back.
Yeah.
Were they just not getting the people downloading? What they said was, oh, well, the warnings, they make it really onerous to do this. And they scare people. So we're going to put it back on the Google Play Store. Of course, now we know they put it back on the Google Play Store. They pulled the same thing by putting an alternate payment processor in the core Google Play Store app. And then Google pulls it. We're not talking about the Google suit as much for a couple of reasons. It's the Apple suit because obviously there's no alternate way that you can sideload easily on Apple on iOS devices. So the Google suit is less interesting because there are ways onto those devices, legitimately onto those devices.
And then you get to like the issues around these stores too, because I think the whole thing about Apple is like the App Store is it's a perfectly safe and secure place to get your apps. Everything's nice and clean. You don't have to worry about getting hacked. You don't have to worry about your credit card data getting stolen or something. The Google Play Store is a freaking frontier. It is filled with garbage. It is filled like there's tons of like garbage apps. It's not really well regulated. It's not super secure. There's a lot of malware out there too. It's kind of showing the differences in. Yes,
I believe that Google has tried. I mean, not to defend Google too hard, but we have recent reporting, and I think Google announced recently that it's updating some of its Play Store policies in an effort to, I think, kind of shirk some of this bad reputation that it has.
The bad reputation exists. Like there's a lot of bad stuff there. And it's nowhere near as clean as iOS. And then, you don't have the choice of using different payment processors, which really all this comes down to is Epic counting its pennies and just wanting more, like Scrooge McDuck or something. Epic has its own app store too, right? It has its own game store on PCs and Macs. And that thing has been struggling. This court battle also revealed like the amount of money they paid for exclusives because the Epic store offers just, hey, free games, come here. Please grab an account. Please stick around. Free games. They pay millions of dollars, sometimes far less to companies, but that's kind of how the Epic wants to build up its own store too. It doesn't seem like this whole court battle, Mike, is super altruistic, right? Because Epic just wants more. They want more of everything, and they don't really care about the industry. They just want more for themselves.
I think it's both. I think we can look at this and say there is obviously some selfish interest here. Epic. Tim Sweeney has been very vocal throughout his career about closed ecosystems, about making sure that there is equal access. So I think that part of this certainly comes from a place of wanting to help developers, but they're a company. They are a financial interest. I think that the interesting thing here is that they're a private company, not a public company. So we can have multiple things in play, but do I feel sympathy for either multi-billion-dollar company? No, No, I don't. And I think that's where I found the Project Liberty, the free Fortnite campaign. I found that to be a little distasteful because you're marketing at a bunch of players, many of whom are minors, and you're engaging them in this huge war between two multi-billion-dollar companies. That, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of love there. There's not. They don't know you exist. Like it's like console wars. Like, why are you standing these huge companies? Like, you're a customer.
They don't care about you.
Sign to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we are at the point where like the App Store, you kind of have to like look at how it's being controlled? Because the argument is that Apple is a monopoly here. Well, of course they do. It's their App Store. They created this thing. They basically created the app economy. At what point, though, does Apple have to play a little more fairly to maybe be nicer to other developers? They were just sued, was it earlier this year, by the EU over violating antitrust laws because of these restrictions around the App Store, right?
They are, and this is a multi-region front. Now, Epic has sued them in a variety of territories. Like, we're talking about the US case because that's what's going on now. There's a UK case, a EU case, an Australia case as well. What's interesting to me is that Epic put their economic expert witness on the stand from the University College London, who calculated out that if Apple lowered its revenue share to 6.8%, they would still make $1 billion.
Sure.
So, and the fact that, and the other question that came up, because Lori Wright, who's VP over at Xbox, was on the stand. They're like, well, you charge 30%. And she said, look, here's the difference. Apple makes money on its devices, on its hardware business.
Yeah.
Microsoft, and I would go so far as to say Sony, they don't make money on the hardware business.
Yeah.
And in order for them to actually invest in the R&D and everything, in order for those consoles to exist in our living rooms, they need to charge that money on the software side. So the entire business is a loss leader, which is what makes it very different than Apple. I don't know if Judge Gonzalez-Rogers is going to be sympathetic to Epic, but I think this does raise some questions. And I think there are going to be other ways that Apple is pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, where something is going to have to change, because they are making an enormous amount of money. The question is, are they engaging in anti-competitive behavior? And Apple says no, and they cited a case against Qualcomm. We're engaging in hyper-competitive behavior, which is not against the law. And therefore,
that's just America, baby.
Yeah, exactly. It's capitalism. So it's going to be very interesting to see where the judge falls out on this, because this is a bench trial. This is not a jury trial. They have one person they need to convince. And I 2-3 days into this trial, Judge Rogers, man, she was exhausted. She was over this whole thing already.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes out.
It almost seems like, just judging from what I'm seeing from the daily summaries of what's happening during the trial, it seems she's really into the idea of just telling Apple, like, hey, maybe you should just let people know there's alternatives on the web. Maybe you should stop restricting that within, like, just that. Just say you can put a note in your app saying, if you don't want to pay here, or we're not making purchases available on this app for whatever reason, go to the web. I feel like that, just removing that restriction alone, would go a long way towards opening up the iOS app ecosystem, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would still be inconvenient.
Yeah,
I think there would still be, but if that's the thing that changes it from anti-competitive to hyper-competitive, and that's all the judge recommends, it'll be interesting to see if that changes the dynamics and how people approach purchasing in the App Store. I think convenience is still going to win out, though.
I do think, like, we're at a point where all these companies are getting so big, right? Apple is a $2 trillion company. They're the biggest company in the world. Facebook, biggest social network in the world, but we're seeing the price of, like, their size and their influence now, and it is sort of like the anti-capitalist thing where you have to be like, well, you got to slow down somehow because of competitive practices, and maybe we should allow for others to actually succeed while you're taking over the world. Anything else you want to add about the trial, Mike? Like, what are you really looking forward to seeing as this it has a week and a half more, right?
I am looking forward to obviously the verdict in this, because this verdict has the capacity to completely change the way that we purchase and completely change the way in which developers are able to access these ecosystems, or it will solidify everything we know now. Yeah. If Epic loses and Apple wins out, even if that one provision does change, like, hey, I'm ordering you to remove this one thing that, like, as you said, doesn't allow people to market their options. I think Apple, I don't think there's any stopping Apple at that point. I think that moment that they are entrenched, and it becomes very hard for anybody to challenge that moving forward. Yeah. And that's what concerns me the most, is that this isn't for me about now. This is about into the future, because if you stop this here, then I don't know how the next competitor builds something up from scratch when you have someone with that market share, both in terms of devices and in terms of software, running the table.
Excellent. Sherlyn, do you have any further thoughts? Like, how do you think this could affect the Android market or anything, like things you're looking at?
I mean, I think Mike already said it, right? With Android, there's a little bit less of an issue because you can just download an APK. I think, though, that like Apple opening up and shifting its policy a little bit here will mean like it needs to really think about even telling people that you can, make a purchase on the website or something. Right. They are going to have to find very careful wording around that. Like, just because if they're going to stick to their guns about this whole, like, we're going to keep this a walled garden, we're going to make this unexploitable, the security, like, of our devices is going to be like Fort Knox or whatever. It's going to take some work to do. But that said, I will say that, like, I feel like we've seen Apple ease up a little bit on some things over the years. So we might see them ease up on this because it has got a lot of attention. It doesn't make them look good at all to kind of dig their heels in here. So my sense is that Apple may one day, after whatever the verdict is, I don't know how I have no idea how it's going to really come out. We might just see Apple make it all about, yeah, totally, it was our idea to like do this and open it up a little teeny tiny bit, but it's huge for developers. So
big for developers, yeah.
Yeah, they'll have to spin it after they figure out. It's what I'm going to say. That's my idea of what they're going to do,
I do feel like this is a thing Apple will have to confront at its WWDC, at the developer conference in the next few months. Like, this is going to be on everybody's minds, and we will be paying close attention. Mike, we'll probably get you back on around there to kind of break all this down. But awesome, thank you so much for joining us and for talking about all of this entire case. Where can we find you on the internet these days?
On Twitter, I am at Futterish, Futterish. The Virtual Economy Podcast has its own Twitter account at Virtual Econcast, and also on the web at virtualeconcast.com and all of your favorite podcatchers.
Great. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Do you want to stick, Mike? Do you want to stick around for Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I'm sure people have.
So questions. We've got a lot of Q&A. One, I'm not going chronologically here, but there's one comment from a user, Impiendo maybe, and they say it's not. Yeah, Impendio. Okay, there we go. They say it's not Apple's fault that the console market relies on reselling product, excuse me. It's not Apple's fault that the console market relies on selling products at a loss. If Microsoft could sell at a profit, they would, just like they do with their Surface computers.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, it's apples and oranges.
Yep. Literally, yeah.
Because obviously there's another way into the software market as well, and that's kind of the big difference here. Is you're not tied into the digital market. You're not tied into the digital marketplace. You can go buy this physical games for most releases, and even thanks to companies like Limited Run, you can purchase even more games, even smaller games physically. I don't know. For me, we're talking about devices that have two very different purposes.
Yes.
And that's part of the big thing here. And that's kind of what drilled down on Lori Wright's testimony, where Epic's lawyers were asking her on the stand, like, what can't you do on a phone? And it's like, well, or on a console, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're tethered to the wall because you need a power supply, all of those things. I think you're right. I think if Microsoft, if the market would bear a living room console at $1,000, the way the market bears a phone at $1,000, I think that's fine. But the reality is the market doesn't bear that.
And this goes back years, right? Because console makers have always sold their hardware at a loss.
Actually, can we get a fact check? Does Nintendo sell its consoles for a profit?
Yeah,
They sell them at they won't go lower than break even. And that is, and that's why typically it's one of the reasons why Nintendo consoles typically don't pack as much power into them.
Well, post Wii, right? Like that was the thing. Like the GameCube had a ton of power. The GameCube, arguably, and I will stand for this. GameCube had more power than the PS2 back in the day. But the same was true for the Nintendo 64 as well, right? The amount of 3D graphics in that thing blew away everything on the market and even on the PC side for a very long time. And then the GameCube was such a failure, and Nintendo was like, I don't know. I need cheap hardware. What do we got? Motion controls. Okay, let's put in this thing and sell it for cheap. And it took over the world, and they were super smart.
So we've got another question from Jonathan Anderson. I'm really curious about this. He says, oh gosh, Apple and their business practices. Devs and those who want to have access to the platform Apple created agree to their terms of service, their cut, etc. If you don't like it, build your own. Okay, you could build your own marketplace or something. That would take a lot of effort. And also, if you don't like it, then you're dramatically lowering the number of customers that you can get. Am I reading this correctly?
It seems like a little unfair. Like I've seen that as the like pure libertarian angle to all this. Like just make your own if you don't like it. I think what we're getting at is that when these things get so big, the App Store didn't start out being the thing that ruled the world. It turned into that. Similarly, when Facebook gets so big, I do feel like there's a certain point where things kind of have to change because then these companies just have huge amounts of power. Like government regulation or something kind of has to start coming into play, but it's not like our government kind of fully understands any of this stuff right now. The judge is just, there's steam blowing out of her ears when she's hearing about this economy.
I would say that's Epic's point, though. Epic's saying we can't build our own. We have an app store that we're ready to put on these devices.
And it sucks.
And we can't. And we have a payment processor that we want to put on these devices. And we want to be competitive and pass that on to users through lower fees. We'll charge 12%. Apple's charging 30%. Instead of us pocketing the difference, we'll pass it on to consumers. And Apple's saying, no, we're not going to let you do that. So build your own. Do they mean build your own device and then build your own app, build your own store to put on that? So then you're getting Apple into a business that it's not in right now. So, and I think that's the thing is separating out. And this is also the difference between, a PC and a phone. And when we talk about Steam's 30%, and this is a way bigger conversation we're having right now, but Steam's 30% cut versus Apple's 30% cut, and why are they different? But when you're talking about...
let's put in a point of order. Jonathan Anderson said, he meant that that's the benefit of the Apple platform. It took the time for investment and it took the time for risks. So it's, but we still come around to the issue of if you don't like it, there's not much that you can do. If you would like to make money, if you would like to be employed as a mobile dev or something, then it really behooves you to play with the terms of this one really, really, really huge company.
I mean, I think that's the case. And again, when we talk about anti-competitive behavior, that's something that evolves over time. So Apple may have started as an innovator and built this up, but at some point, we look at these things and go, have you transitioned from being an innovator to quelching innovation, to being someone blocking other people from innovating because you control too much? And that's the question.
Isn't that the classical definition of monopoly?
Well, also, let's not forget, I think unlike a lot of other folks, Apple is directly competing against a lot of these other third parties, right? Like they have Apple Music. So Spotify is like, buddy, you control so much of this. What chance do we have? They sell what else? They sell all sorts of things that other companies offer too. Like that's the thing when you are a monopoly and you control this entire ecosystem. Why would anybody use a third party offering when whatever you have is directly integrated into your OS? It's so much cleaner and nicer and easier to use too.
Yeah, it's using vertical integration to block out everybody else.
Gotcha. I think we'll have to see some sort of stop to that. Yeah. Anything else, Ben?
Chris Rosenkrantz said, what if Microsoft said you can't have a store on our platform? No Steam for you.
They can't.
Yeah,
they can't. Well, like, and this is the thing we didn't bring up fully in the episode. iOS is exactly what Apple has always wanted, right? Like the Apple versus PC, IBM PC compatible like market. Apple was all about, this is our own hardware, this is our own software. You cannot work outside this ecosystem. That's how Macs have always worked. iOS and iPhones and iPads, that is just the ultimate culmination of everything Apple has always built towards, right? They were never about the open app ecosystem and the open internet, whereas that was all PCs were about. So yeah, that's also why the Microsoft store sucks, and they can't get any real control over their app store because everyone's used to the way Windows already works. It's a Wild West everybody understands.
Well, we can also go back if we want to shift the focus from Microsoft to Sony.
Sure.
There was a long time where on PlayStation 3 you could install another OS.
Yes.
And they removed the option and then lost a class. Well, they settled a class action suit because people are like, I used that other OS. I installed Linux on my PS3.
On my cell processor, PS3. Yeah.
So it's not that those consoles have always been closed off. I think the other piece we didn't talk about was Apple making it very difficult for Amazon with its Luna streaming service, Google with Stadia, which we'll see how long that lasts. But most importantly, Microsoft with its Xbox Cloud gaming, where they're like, you have to have a page in our store for every single game on Game Pass that you want to stream.
Which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So so Apple can turn around and say, well, we said you could do it. And Microsoft is looking to go, that's impossible.
Nobody and I think even during the court proceedings, right, they're like, well, you don't do this for Netflix, like you don't force Netflix or other streaming video, companies to do this. So what is it about the game companies? It is, and now Microsoft is beta testing iOS, game streaming to
a progressive web app.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of where we are. The web will save us, folks. So it's really all just comes down to the web. If you want a nice open ecosystem, let's fight for an open web, because I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
I mean, so Apple even resorted to moral panic, right?
Yeah.
Because Epic just put the itch.io store in its store, and they're like, you have fetish games.
You have kinky games on your store.
And Epic's like, well, no, we don't. We have the itch storefront in our store, but we don't actually sell any of those games. It's like, well, this is what you want to do on iOS. And Epic's like, you can't run these games on iOS. Like this is moral panic. This is, you want to do dirty stuff. It's like, have you met the Safari browser? Did you know?
Have you met the internet? Yeah.
Yes.
Did you know that you could get anything you want out of the Safari browser? So we have an interesting comment from Michael Pepper Tech, who says they aren't a monopoly. They referring to Apple. If there were no other companies making what they make and developing apps, then they would be. Having control of over their own devices does not make them a monopoly by definition. Okay, so then this becomes a very interesting conversation about what is a monopoly. Yes. Okay. I was talking about the classical definition of monopoly before. Now we're getting into a conversation that we need to be having about how tech influences the concept of monopolies.
And this is what we were talking about with Facebook and Amazon as well. We've brought this up over the past few months. Yeah.
Yes. If you are the major storefront, one of the figures that I think about a lot, that I saw in some like media business blog, is that like apparently 3 out of every 4 advertising dollars goes to Facebook or Google. And so when there is the perennial question of how do media sites make money? How does a place like Engadget make money? Well, it used to be via banner ads. Now Facebook and Google are making all of that money. Yeah. So if you have this one place that is the place to put your app, I don't have the figures in front of me, but a vast majority of American cell phone users are on Apple, one Apple product or another. So it may not be a classical monopoly of they make everything and then they can just jack up the prices, but they do control the ecosystem to a point where it's really hard for anyone else to compete.
And Android is still bigger. Android is still the bigger platform, but I think the thing we need to be saying here is this is why we're bringing it up. We need to question what happens when these companies get too much power And that's it, because that does start to crush innovation. It starts to crush competition in ways that aren't great. I think the best competition comes from,
I think we're all getting a bit confused as to what people we're talking about. CAza also points out in the chat, monopoly not equal abusive dominant position. Yes, we know the classical definition, like Ben has said. We're not talking about one company in an entire industry. We're not talking about duopoly, oligopoly. We've gone to school a little bit. But we are talking about anti-competitive behavior when a company is trying or doing things that might eventually make it a monopoly or make it a monopolistic company. So
gotcha.
We're not confused here. But let's figure, we're not saying that they already are a monopoly. We're saying this is anti-competitive behavior,
which is worth calling out. Anything else going on? Because I think we should probably move on and let Mike go. Mike, you want to add anything?
Yeah, there's just I think the one thing we didn't really talk about is kind of the two cores of the argument. Yeah, really here. So what Epic is saying is that Apple is they control the entire market on iOS. What Apple is saying is, well, iOS is not its own market. Our iDevices are not their own market. And the reason why Apple's saying that is well, you can play Fortnite in other places. That's why Lori Wright was on the stand from Xbox to really draw that distinction between the capabilities of a console and a phone, and why those two markets are very separate. The other thing that's going on is, sorry, my brain just got a little fried. Obviously, what is a game? Because we know how Apple's positioned games in the past. And of course, there's this weird little debate that's going on the stand right now, which is is Fortnite a game? Is it an experience? Is Minecraft a game? Is it an experience? Roblox is another one, because obviously Roblox has a robust iOS presence.
Right.
And then the third piece of it is, and this is Epic's argument, is that in-app processing is a different market and a different function than the App Store. And what Apple's trying to say is, no, they're part of the whole thing. So even if Epic wins on the payment processing thing, it's a big win, because that allows them to put other payment processors and go through with the things that they tried to do with Fortnite, which was add another payment processing option.
We'll see how that all goes. By the way, I think we also learned during this trial that Epic had to seriously apologize to Ubisoft because their crummy payment processing implementation opened a huge, hack for the Division 2. So it's Epic, what are you doing? We can't trust you. I cannot trust you right now.
That was interesting because it was a unique situation to Ubisoft because at the time there was no two-factor on Epic. There was no email verification. So that was a big stumble on Epic's part. But the interesting thing here is when you buy a game on a third-party storefront, if you buy a Ubisoft game on Steam, on Epic, I think even GOG has some Ubisoft games, there's an entitlement that happens on the Ubisoft Connect storefront. So while Epic was able to, when there were chargebacks, remove the entitlements from those accounts on the Epic side of things, there was no way to reflexively remove the entitlements for Ubisoft Connect, and then people were selling off those connected Ubisoft Connect things to give those free games. The fraud rate, according to an email from Tim Sweeney to Yves Guillemot, was over 70% and approaching 90%. And it was embarrassing
in terms of fraudulent accounts.
Oh yeah, in terms of fraudulent fraudulent accounts. So on everything else, their fraud rate's under 2%, which is completely normal.
Epic's trust us with a storefront. I trust this with payment processing on iOS. Let's forget about this major incident, which was totally our fault.
We won't break it totally.
Yeah.
It's okay.
This is exactly what Apple's worried about. But we will get back to all this, folks. This is a ongoing story, and there are going to be a lot of updates, and we still have a while. We have at least a full week left on this trial, so we will report back in terms of what's happening. Mike, you want to add anything else in terms of this, or things we should be looking out for?
It's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be wild. Hold on to your butts.
Exactly. Yes, hold on to your butts. Exactly.
All right.
So thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Bye.
So before we move on, I just want to make sure that I got my numbers right, because I am the audio guy, not the tech reporter. But based on what I know, iOS has about a 60% share of the American market. Is that correct?
That sounds way too high.
Really?
That's way too high. Well,
Android,
American
because
market,
Android
I don't
is
know.
so cheap, but yeah.
No, Android's also big globally. The American market, 60 might be close. But
yeah, I'm talking about the
context.
American market specifically because I think that's, I mean, we're talking about this suit just in American courts.
And I think that probably includes tablets and stuff too, where iOS would
so we're talking about
okay.
iOS operating system. According to Statista, it's like 60%, but that is, and the US is the country with the highest market share for iPhone, iOS, according to Statista as well. But globally, Android is huge. There's
globally, and Android really dominates. But I was meant to put a finer point on it and say that it was in the US. I think that iOS edges things out.
And iPhone specifically, by the way, like in terms of mobile devices, iPhone, according to the same Statista numbers, is 46.9%. In 2021. So Android,
is that global or US?
US. I'm saying US. Just because Android is so cheap. There's so many cheap Android devices. Like that's always been the thing, and Apple has been expensive. So that's why Apple makes more money, but Android sells more devices and typically has more market share. But yeah. Okay, we can go on.
Yep.
Move on.
Let's talk about what are we starting with? I think we're starting with Intel.
Okay. And I'll kick it off. Let's move on to some other news. And boy, has it been a busy week. In other news, Sherlyn, I know you got back from Miami, so I hope you enjoyed your vacation because you got right back into the news cycle. And
I died.
Folks, you died. I've been writing since Saturday night because there's been so much news this week. Intel's 11th gen H-series CPUs are finally here, and these are the more powerful ones because this is where it gets confusing, right? Because we talked about Intel's H-series mobile CPUs a couple of months ago. Those were just the lower wattage H35 chips, and they were aiming those at ultra portable gaming laptops. Those things topped out at 4 cores. They weren't like the beefiest chips. They weren't the chips you'd be putting in your super workhorse thing that could replace your desktop. This week, they announced those actual 11th gen H-series chips, and it's going to be spearheaded by the 8-core i9 11980HK. Very powerful chip. Basically, like if you were getting if you wanted the best of the best gaming laptop or the best of the best productivity machine, these would be the chips you'd find in them. And along with that, hey, Intel's saying like 90% improvement over the last generation. That's kind of what they've been saying over every year. The key is this is their first like super fast chips based on their new lower nanometer processor. So this is the 10 nanometer processor architecture, whereas everything Intel has done before, except for those last H-series chips and the 11th gens, everything else before was 14 nanometers. So we're kind of seeing Intel kind of step up here. They say these are the fastest single core performing chips, in the world. They showed off some stats saying they're faster than AMD's Ryzen, some of their fastest chips. I do think maybe Intel's speed advantage goes away as you go down from the highest end i9, like the i5 that they showed off. In some cases, AMD's hardware kind of beats it out. So I think for normal people, if you're just getting like an affordable laptop or something vaguely, powerful, but not like balls to the wall at i9, then it could go either way. You'll still get a fast laptop with AMD. You'll still get a fast one with Intel, but Intel stuff is here. And kind of alongside that too, NVIDIA confirmed the RTX 3050 and 3050 Ti GPUs that Samsung kind of leaked when you were talking about that, Sherlyn. So just hilarious. And these are, the key to these is these kind of replace the GTX 1650 and 1660 GPUs. And those were the things that were typically found in like budget gaming laptops. So now you've got RTX power in machines under $1,000. They're saying like $799 starting price for some of these. I wouldn't expect these to get like full, the best ray tracing performance, but it's still a step up over the older GTX, the older architecture. And you have some advantages too with these laptops, like the NVIDIA Broadcast app, which uses the RTX AI cores to do things like clean up your audio or clean up your video. If you're watching our live stream right now, actually, I use NVIDIA's Broadcast app to give me like a nice background blur and clear up my messy office. So I think for a lot of people, for creators, this could be a good thing. But also, if you want a powerful little gaming laptop, you just want to hit 60 FPS, if you just want to hit 60 FPS and you want to play the latest games, this is going to be a really interesting way in for a lot of people. And we also saw a lot of new laptops announced this week from the usual crew. Because of this, we got new Alienwares coming. Razer announced that the Blade, are getting these new processors and some of these new GPUs. So this has been a big week. If you've been waiting for a gaming laptop, I'd say keep an eye out for what's coming. But also, as always, keep an eye out for last gen models too, because you could probably find some nice sales, right?
True.
Also on my news list this week.
Speaking of gaming, right?
Tuesday this week was such a man. HTC Vive confirmed the Pro 2 headset and the Focus 3. The big selling point for both of these are 5K VR displays. So a single 5K display that's split between your eyes. So that's 2.5K per eye, technically. These things are expensive. The Vive Pro 2 is going to be $749 on its own, $1399 if you don't have the Steam VR kit. So that includes the base stations and the controllers and all that jazz. More expensive than the Valve Index, which I think for a while we've been calling like that is the most premium VR you can get right now. So I talked to HTC Vive. They're saying this is really a push for professional users. It's in the name, right? Pro users who need higher quality, better ergonomics, and maybe better support in their hardware than you kind of do with that you get with consumer hardware. They also announced the Focus 3, and the Focus 3 is a standalone VR headset similar to the Oculus Quest and Quest 2.
Interesting.
The Oculus Quest starts at $299. Okay. The Vive Focus 3 starts at $1,399. So
oh my God.
Clearly very different markets. Different markets.
Is the price justified at all? Are the guts different?
The Focus 3 starts at $1,300.
Oh my God.
Still a lot. It is literally $1,000 more than the Quest 2. And I don't know. They're saying they have they're using the Snapdragon XR2 platform, which we've talked about. They have come up with a little cooling system. So there's like a heatsink and a fan at the front of the display or the front of the VR headset that kind of pipes in cool air and spits out the hot air. So it's like a little mini PC. But I think the main thing is that they're just doing this because it has, let me see, that 5K screen. First of all, it is a lot sharper than the Quest 2's. It has support for 90 hertz displays, and there may be support for 90 hertz is standard on a VR headset, so it's not fancy like a phone. But I did talk to HTC Vive, and they're like, maybe we could bump it up to 120 or so eventually, because the Quest 2, even though it has a less sharp display, the Quest 2 can get it to 120 hertz, in a beta mode. So this is really the battle that we're looking at. Like standalone VR, $299 for the Quest 2 for a really easy to use consumer headset, with a decent app store. This thing is $1,300. HTC says they're clearly not aiming at the same type of customer. They're going after businesses and people who need like fleets of VR headsets for training and things like that. The battery is hot swappable, which is certainly not. You cannot do that on the Quest 2 at all. The battery is actually in the back head strap of the Focus 3, so you can kind of pop it out and pop a new one back in. They say everything's easy to clean. They also offer like a lot of business services and warranties. So if like something breaks, you ship it to them and they'll ship you out like a new thing or fix it as soon as they can. So basically a lot of support that you don't normally get on a consumer headset. There's also like IT maintenance, IT admin management for these headsets too. Not super exciting, but I think like it just kind of shows where this industry is headed right now. HTC Vive is not super concerned about the consumer market right now because turns out Facebook has nearly limitless funds and can just pour whatever they need to make consumer VR work. And it's really hard for a company like HTC Vive to compete, right?
I'm interested because see what I thought, I think for a while when there were like in-person VR experiences at, arcades and whatnot, I was under the impression and maybe I'm wrong or right, that in the early days the HTC Vive and the HTC Valve were the popular setups for these situations. I was talking to my cousin recently and she like very aggressively tried to correct me, which I highly doubt she's right. But
name Sherlyn.
Oh yeah, no, she
No.
knows who she is. Is it less popular nowadays? The HTC headsets are the Oculus Quest just more popular, even in these, more, not individual consumer setups, but like businesses that run consumer experiences.
No,
right?
so for business stuff, and basically what we've seen over the last year, a lot of businesses still like stuff like the Vive and similar like fancy headsets because they have the tracking sensors. They have like the sensors that you stick up on the wall, and that tracking is usually a lot more accurate than the built-in tracking that's on the Quest and other headsets
That's what
too.
I thought.
Yeah. So for businesses, a lot of them still prefer that. But if you're just running, like when we go to do, when we used to go to film festivals and things like that, and you just want to pop on a quick thing and look at a quick VR experience, then yeah, the consumer headsets are more popular there. If you're just sitting down and looking at 360-degree video or something, or like doing a small experience in a small room. But if you're doing something serious and you need to you need accurate motion, tracking and things like that, then
room-based,
room-based is where you're at, and you need those sensors. Yeah.
So I'm right. So I'm gonna tell my fuck it. My coworker said I'm right. I don't care if the stats bear you out.
Title of the episode is Sherlyn is right. Sherlyn is right. Let me throw some news your way, Sherlyn. Do you want to talk to us about the Biden administration and what they're doing with Uber and Lyft, which I think is a big thing. Yeah.
Okay, tell you what, I've been seeing these. I'm a sort of abashed frequent user of rideshare apps.
Sure.
And
because you can't drive,
I can't exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, feels safer to take a cab. Anyway.
Sure.
So the Biden administration announced this partnership where with Uber and Lyft, where it will offer everyone in the US free and discounted rides for COVID-19 vaccination sites. It will start in the next 2 weeks around the end of May, and then it will run till the 4th of July. So I've already been seeing some alerts in the Uber app at the very least, where it's like, oh, you can schedule a vaccination for free and that sort of stuff, even prior to this announcement. But I believe that's all kind of folded into this now. And basically, if you have one of these apps, or even if you don't, you can install one and get a free ride to your vaccination appointment. I think for specific locations or people, you can also schedule a vaccination through the app. From what I saw, from what I saw, Uber, has teamed up with Walgreens. It looks like the Walgreens little Band-Aid logo is on the app. And according to the report, it does look like this builds on free and discounted ride programs that both rideshare apps have been running recently. Uber, like we said, teamed up with Walgreens on things like a vaccine access fund that will let people cover the cost of rides from their vaccination appointments. You can do that in Uber. You can book the vaccination appointment. Lyft is also been doing this for a while, offering free rides for people who need them to their vaccination sites. And it's always been funded by, corporate sponsors and maybe private, investors or donations. So,
you know what? We talk a lot about the crappiness of the gig economy and everything right now, but it is nice when you can tap the actual innovation things happening around, like the tech available to hopefully end the pandemic. I don't know. People, this is also my PSA. For the love of God, if you can get your vaccinations, get your vaccinations. There's a lot of literature out there about why it's safe. It is fully safe. I understand there may be some concerns about side effects, because I've talked to some people who are like, they don't want to get their second shots because they're worried about feeling a little sicky one day.
I felt nothing the next day.
Yeah, I felt nothing at all, and I was, that's lucky. That's lucky if you feel nothing.
I was very lucky.
Those second shot symptoms are nothing compared to what could happen if you get COVID, or if you share it within your family or whatever. So for the love of God, please get your vaccine.
I tell you what, I have a confession to make, right? Earlier on, I was definitely one of those people who was a little hesitant on oh no, what will the long-term effects be? This hasn't been tested for so long. I'm already fully vaxxed and I'm good at this point. The reason I went, a few reasons. One, I actually realized that there's a lot of other stuff we're doing in this world that could kill me faster than the long-term effects of a vaccination.
Also, the long-term effects of getting COVID.
Also, that I definitely don't want to get COVID.
Worse.
First of all,
yeah.
let's setting aside the COVID relationship to this. I could die from secondhand smoke because my neighbors won't stop smoking. I could die from...
You could die in your apartment if
any
you
number
set a
of things.
fire in your microwave.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Any toxins are in every... Anyway, right?
Yeah.
Think of all these things, and somehow where I was afraid of like long-term effects that maybe haven't been measured effectively yet, I'm like, maybe it's just safer to be... The second reason I actually went and got my vaccination when I did was because I had an appointment opened up to me earlier than all my friends. So I was like, aha, I'm going to be first. So I went. And
that's pure. A little bit. That's pure Sherlyn. Hey, I don't care. Get your bragging rights, whatever it takes. Take advantage of these free rides. Yeah, it's going to be better for everybody. It's the only way we can crush this. Yeah.
Two things to add, to be very clear. One, it's not like Uber and Lyft won't benefit from this. Yes,
okay? Exactly. This is great PR.
They will benefit. Yeah. But two, after your second shot, just still be careful. Because doesn't mean you can go like pack yourself into a club and start dancing on people.
What did you do? What did you do, Sherlyn?
I did not. I'm just saying do not, because there's still variants out there. It doesn't mean
there's still variants. Wait your 2 weeks, get your shot, wait your 2 weeks, and then celebrate responsibly.
Still be careful, because you don't want to get the flu. You don't want to get other kinds of diseases. Just be safe.
We'll do like once cold season comes back around, we could start talking about like probably still get to wear your masks, guys. I didn't have a cold for the last year or any little illness, and that was nice.
Or just not touching so many things and then touching my mouth is a big thing for me. Yes.
Let's go back to tech being bad. How about that?
Tech news, yes.
Actual tech news and tech being bad. Just wanted to bring up this quick thing we saw about WhatsApp. Apparently, if you do not acknowledge, if you don't agree to WhatsApp's new privacy policy, which just makes it clear that there's going to be more data sharing between your WhatsApp account and your Facebook account. Like it's going to be a unified like information sharing thing. WhatsApp will basically stop working over time. Like they're going to stop letting you actually get to your message list. You'll only be able to reply to messages when you get them. And over time, like so at first you'll lose access to the chat list. And then eventually, I think within a few weeks, you won't be able to message at all. You can still export your chat history and just leave the account, or you accept the privacy agreement. This is weird. I don't know if you have thoughts about this, Sherlyn. This just seems like a very Facebook strong arming, a little app. They paid a lot of money for this, so this is why they paid $17 billion for WhatsApp. But users.
To tell me why. First of all, do I need to do this like what am I agreeing to? Why do I need to agree to it? But B,
they need your data. They need you. Don't you love your grams? Don't you love all your free apps? They need your stuff.
Yeah. So my thoughts on this are basically, I guess either I'm not talking to my parents anymore or I'm moving them to Telegram. And that will be a pain in my butt because my mom just figured out how to use stickers on WhatsApp and having a hell of a
I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
She's just not moving over to Telegram?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen with your parents. It's not going to happen with like all of us that have like chat groups.
I'll convince them. We got this.
Are you sure? Are you sure? They're like, Sherlyn, we have all our friends on WhatsApp. We'll talk to you
I have all
Telegram,
my friends on Telegram.
No, I'm saying your parents will still use WhatsApp. So you're just solving it for yourself,
The problem is that they're so it's not just me. They do talk to all of their friends and coworkers through WhatsApp, which is deeply annoying. So many businesses use WhatsApp for work. So this is really, this is a huge thing. This is a lot of people can't quit WhatsApp. We've said this before in the show. So
this is what happens when Facebook gets too big. I think part of the story though is that some of this data sharing could have been happening already. And here's the thing, we don't know because Facebook doesn't always make the stuff totally clear.
True.
There are some people noting that this could just be WhatsApp being more transparent about the data it's sharing with Facebook. So agreeing to that isn't actually going to change much, but we don't know. We don't exactly know because Facebook does not divulge everything they take from people. But, Facebook is a data vampire. So you got to let the vampire suck your blood if you want to keep partying on WhatsApp. How about that?
If they look like our pads, but they don't. Anyway, but here's the thing. I've been trying to convince people to ditch WhatsApp for the longest time, and I've had no success. So we'll see. If
the Facebook vampires, by the way, look like Zuckerberg with the sunscreen. That's what they all look like. Okay,
that one. Oh no, that picture.
The surfing photo. That's what the Facebook vampire looks
look. liberal use of sunscreen is something I stand. So
yeah, but you got to rub it in, people. You gotta like get blended in a little. Let's move on to some fun news. Remember Quibi?
Super fun. No,
Quibi is back in Roku form. Quibi is back. We talked about all those original shows on Quibi. Part of the reason Quibi raised nearly $2 billion for itself is to create a lot of original programming. Quibi failed. Roku bought that stuff for very, very little money. I believe it was like, I gotta look up the exact number, but it was like something like 20 to 25 million. Roku is going to be releasing 30 ex-Quibi shows as Roku originals on May 20th. So those shows won't die. So that's a thing. I don't know if those shows are still watching, but you'll be able to see things like The Fugitive remake, Die Hard, Chrissy's Court, and Dismantled. I hated Dismantled. You'll be able to see them on Quibi devices for free. Talk about another service, by the way, that is existing entirely based on sucking in user information and ads and things like that. Like, that is Roku's big deal now. They're actually making a ton of money from their free movies and stuff that they're offering because they get a lot of user data and they get a lot of ad money from that. So anyway, more free stuff for Roku. If you have a Roku device, you'll be able to check this out. The Roku app is free on iOS and Android too. So you have a lot of ways to check out these shows, and maybe it'll help people find some new stuff, you know? Like, I don't know. Tell us, are you interested in watching any of these Roku originals? Sherlyn, are you going to be? Yeah.
Kind of wanted to see the Chrissy's Court one and the Hemsworth one. I don't exactly.
He's not even the good Hemsworth. He's the bad Hemsworth, you know, in the show.
He's the okay Hemsworth. He's not too bad. He was in Hunger Games. Come on. Look, they're cute, whatever.
Okay, you're gonna watch Roku Originals. May 20th. Tell us what you think, folks. Let's move on to what we're working on. I'm working on so many things. My working on entry right now is just a big old sigh because I have a big review and a lot of things launching soon. So check out all of our embargoed news that hit this week, like all that stuff that we wrote up. Check it out. I got a ton of stuff. I don't have much else to add. Sherlyn, you have the benefit of getting some time off. You get to rest and reset. Surely you're coming back in fully relaxed, right?
One day I will point back to this moment in time and say, remember this week? This is when it all went to shit. Yeah. This is the week
because you took a vacation. Yeah.
In future, basically, all hell broke loose because I took it. No, I came back and had to dive straight into finishing my review of the Galaxy Book Pro 360. It will be up soon. I can't tell you exactly when, but I have been working on reviewing it. That much I can say. And you know, everyone who's been listening to this podcast is very aware that Google I/O is next week, so I'm doing a lot of prep for that. And there's some pretty, background stuff that still not at liberty to discuss, but it is pretty huge in terms of like my work for me. So, like me and Devendra, we're just both sighing because the work doesn't end. We're very happy to have.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun work. It's just like, especially right fun. Now. But sometimes it just like crushes your soul. Like, remember, kids, even when you have a job you love, sometimes it can be very hard. It's okay. Just find time to relax.
I want to remind everyone, I understand how privileged we are to have jobs, and I don't want like people listening to feel too worried for us. We will be fine. It's just a lot of work, and we're just going to complain a little bit because, I'm a complaining girl.
You can complain. We cannot just get drinks and kvetch with each other after work anymore.
We just complain on the podcast now.
Let's move on to our pop culture picks. Surely you have something fun, Sherlyn.
I have been dedicating myself to watching a few more like Asian films. So for AAPI month this month, I'm continuing to recommend y'all some just Asian stories, Asian entertainment products, I guess. This past weekend, I've seen 3 Asian films on Netflix. I'll start with, and they're all 3 very science fiction heavy films, and from different parts of the Asian, specifically East Asian, I want to say diaspora. So let's start with South Korean. This is Space Sweepers. Have you heard of it? Yes.
I've heard of it. I need to check it out. Yeah.
It is it's a space opera basically, and features your kind of like you like the style of the underdog, the gritty, the no good.
It looks like Firefly in space. It looks like Firefly basically, but with a lot of stuff.
A little bit, but with
Are they irreverent rebels? Are they on a ship where they have to go on missions to steal stuff? And there's a sassy robot, probably.
Stealing space junk with their sexy robot, and but they come across
sassy robot, not sexy robot, but that's another thing.
She is very sassy. If you're into robots, she might be sexy. I don't know. But they encounter a little girl who the media is after because she's a very explosive android, a very dangerous android, and so they are trying to sell her for money, that sort of stuff. It's exactly the sort of story I think you like, Dev, but also similar in style to Parasite in the sense that you have this very gritty side of the world, and then you have this very high-end, clean living side of the story.
It sounds more like Snowpiercer, to be honest.
It's also very Snowpiercer vibes, except for
it turns out Bong Joon-ho was like really that's his jam.
That's his whole thing. But this I don't believe it was Bong Joon-ho. But anyway, Space Sweepers on Netflix, pretty good. I have 2 more to go through, so let's get through them. Space Sweepers was actually my least favorite of the 3. My next favorite, Wandering Earth. Also on Netflix, also a great, very well received movie. This, oh my god, the premise is amazing. Based on a short story by Liu Cixin, who is the author of Three Body Problem, really also famous science fiction novel. This is where the sun is about to basically give up and die and explode and consume everything. And so you know the premise.
This is
right?
like the ultimate sequel to Sunrise, basically, or Sunshine.
Yeah. So people, the intrepid scientists and astronauts are all like, we're going to build a shit ton of engines to move the Earth.
We're going to move the Earth, guys.
Galaxy. We're going to propel it, and that's why the Earth wanders to another galaxy. It's quite amazing. I won't spoil the ending for you. I don't know if you've seen it, Dev.
Please don't.
Okay, the ending is as wild as the premise. Yeah. So the ending is very wild too. I loved the ending. It was insane. Anyhow, that one was good, and it's this more of a Chinese production, but it was very international in nature. It was very much like, I love how authentic the actors from other regions in this movie were too. They spoke their own languages flawlessly. There's very little like accents that are this uncomfortable to hear, at least from me as a person who understands a few languages. Finally, the last of the trio I'm going to recommend, it's my favorite. It's The Soul, also on Netflix, was released in February this year, I believe. The reason it piqued my interest, first of all, is because it stars Christopher Lee Ming-shun, a Singaporean actor, a big freaking deal in Singapore, but no one else outside of Singapore knows who the hell he is. But he is a legend in Singapore. But this movie, holy crap, it starts out like the kind of supernatural show that I might be into, and Asian supernatural stuff is really my jam because it gets real weird, but it's actually really deep batshit sci-fi, and the way all the reviews have written this is that it's full of twists. The twists keep coming, and it truly will not stop serving you twists all the way until the end. It's ridiculous. I did really enjoy it. It's very, very wacky science fiction if you're into that. And it's got a bit of but it's also at its heart about family, grief, and love for different people in your life. It's really moving. I think I cried a couple times. The acting in this is really well done. The story is a little hard to follow sometimes, but it's twisty. Anyway, if you want to check out an Asian film this weekend on Netflix, you have 3 options, and those are the order of how science fiction batshit they are.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to just quickly run through mine. I've been checking out some anime because I felt a little anime deprived lately. So I've been working my way through Demon Slayer, which is streaming now on Netflix. Mainly because I want to see this show. I want to see the movie that is up, that is currently in some theaters. Yeah, I hear good things. It's a typical shonen anime where it's people fighting and stuff. But it's about a young boy whose entire family is massacred by demons. His sister becomes a demon, and he is on a mission to cure her and also become a demon slayer because the world is there are demons everywhere. There's a lot of cool fighting. empowers in this, and I also really appreciate that the animation looks good too. I actually just finished up Invincible on Amazon. I've talked with you guys about this. I hate the way that show looks. This one actually has like great fluid animation, cool characters, lots of great twists, a lot of annoying characters, to be honest. Like, it is one of those anime series that will goes from, you know, serious bits to you know, ripping people apart violently to like cute chibi comedy, which I can sometimes the whiplash between those is just way too much, but I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if I'll finish it in time for the movie, but we'll see. I've also been watching Yasuke, which I've been really looking forward to. It tells us the tale of the only black samurai, a real life figure who existed in 16th century Japan. Yes. It's created by LaShawn Thomas, has Lakeith Stanfield as the main voice actor. Like, so many people I love. It is co-created by Flying Lotus. I believe Flylo also did like some of the story, and he does the soundtrack. Like, it is, if you were to craft an anime show just for me based on everything I love and people I like, this is kind of what it would look like. It is a cool show, but it's also like it goes into feudal Japan through the eyes of like Ninja Scroll. So it's not just like normal samurai, it's also like giant robots and people with magic powers and stuff. It is it's a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I love the soundtrack. So check out Yasuke on Netflix. And also something a little tamer. What do you think, Sherlyn?
I was gonna say my friend Sam Rutherford tried to get us, me, his wife, and him to watch it at some point. And me and Monica are not the biggest anime fans, but he was very disappointed that we didn't want to watch Yasuke.
I'm so sad. Well, you could tell Sam at some point. Sam from Gizmodo. You know, I followed his work for a while. Sam can join us at some point, and we'll just talk about Yasuke.
Oh yes, it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll do that. I have a space thing to share, which is not as crazy as either thing you have talked about, Sherlyn. That's another Netflix thing, and boy, Netflix is really diving into sci-fi and like you know, cool genre stuff really well. It's called Stowaway. It's directed by Joe Penna. It is a movie about a 3-person crew that is on a mission to Mars. 3 people played by Anna Kendrick, Daniel Day Kim, and also Daniel Day Kim's beautiful arms. Just like, this is a movie that just puts Daniel Day Kim in tight t-shirts, but he's also a scientist. So it's Daniel Day Kim in tight t-shirts and like glasses. There's a lot going on there. And Toni Collette is the like captain of this mission. They find, after they launch, somebody was stuck inside of like a compartment in the spaceship. So that's he's played by Shamir Anderson. And they find this guy and they're like, how did this guy get here? How did anybody not notice it? And what's his deal, right? Did he get here accidentally? Is he trying to like sneak his way to Mars or something? This movie is basically like a play in space because it's all about, you know, people going on a bold mission and then something complicates it. I think there's like allegories here for like the refugee crisis. If you're 3 people on a, you know, mission somewhere, you only have resources for 3 people and another person pops up. What do? If there are life-threatening, you know, issues, who do you prioritize? Like, it is all about things like that. But I also think it's really well done. It's incredibly well acted. The visual effects. This is a movie that has, I think, one big set, but there are points where they go like outside and they have to deal with things. They have to do a spacewalk at some point. I think the visual effects really shine there, even though this is clearly like a lower budget thing for Netflix. So if you like drama of people trapped together and dealing with difficult circumstances, I think it's worth watching, and I really love this movie. You can check out my full review at the Slash Filmcast too. Because we dive really deep into this one, but I think you'd appreciate it, Sherlyn.
I've been meaning to watch it. It's on my watch list. Just not to distract the people listening on the audio podcast by mentioning the live chat on our live stream, but you should join us if you want to. But we have one of our commenters also shouted out a couple things. My Hero Academia is one of the ones when you were talking about anime. That's a good one. But God damn it, which one? Hang on, let me. So Jonathan Anderson on the chat says, have you all seen Jupiter's Legacy? That's another one, right? Netflix has all of these like
I refused. I refuse.
You refuse to watch that one? Okay, that
I refuse
one
to
has
watch
been
it.
like.
First of all, I'm superheroed out, but that's also the
Okay.
only show I've ever seen to get a 1-star rating
Uh,
on Rolling Stone. Like everybody hates it, and you know what?
oh, no.
I'm happy. I'm happy that everybody hates it because I don't have to watch his other superhero thing. So
okay,
save yourself, Sherlyn. Save yourself.
Yeah, I've been curious about checking it out, but okay, I'll do Stowaway first. I also want to quickly shout out when you were naming all the actors. I forgot to shout out on Wandering Earth. It also stars freaking Wu Mengda, who is in Manta in Cantonese or English, and he is the longtime collaborator of Stephen Chow. I don't know if you guys know, but that man, a legend in Chinese film history.
That's great. Much stuff. Man, Stephen Chow just disappeared, didn't he? I really
kind of did, because he couldn't make himself seem like God in most films again. So,
we'll always have Shaolin Soccer and God of Cookery and Kung Fu Hustle. Like I love that man. I wish he was still prevalent. Yeah, he could do something really fun.
$600 Man is one of his films too. Way early, but it was pretty good. One of my childhood favorites.
Yep. Cool. Well, I think we can wrap it up, right? Unless we have anything else to call out from the chat. We'll do a little chat Q&A after this.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, I'll do the outro, Ben.
Okay. So the variation that I want to put on the outro is let me pull this up. When you mention Dale North, also say like
Nintendo.
Have you seen the light blue Switch announcement video? That's Dale's music.
Yeah. Okay. We have music from somebody who's making music for Nintendo. That's pretty wild. Yeah.
So I would say something like our theme music is by game composer Dale North. And check out another piece of his in the light blue Switch release video or something like that.
Okay. Well, that's it for our episode, everyone. Thank you, as always, for listening. Our theme music is by game composer Dale North. You can check out another piece of his in the video commercial for the light blue Nintendo Switch. Our outro music is by our very own Terrence O'Brien. The podcast is produced by Ben Ellman. You can find Devindra online at
Devindra on Twitter and talking about movies and TV all day at the/filmcast@/film.com.
If you want to send me movies that Singaporean actors have randomly appeared on, I will love that. Please send them to me on Twitter at Sherlyn Low. Email us your thoughts and feedback at podcast@engadget.com. Leave us a review, please, on iTunes, and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. We are everywhere, including Spotify.
Okay, we're clear. So if anybody wants to talk about literally anything related to tech, it doesn't necessarily need to be related to what we were just talking about. Although I am going to shout out a few things that people said earlier in the chat, starting with let's make sure I get this name right. Salil Afraz says, when is the iPad M1 video review coming out?
I saw that one.
I don't know.
I know we have a video coming about something.
We can't say anything about like when.
I don't know all the details. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think soon, like we'll probably have something for all their devices ahead of their launch. I think like that's the logical thing. Yeah.
Also, a very funny comment from Peanut Air when we were talking about the Intel H series CPUs. Peanut Air says, "Does the H stand for heater?"
It's sure. Yeah, whatever you want. Hyper fast. H stands for hyper fast. Yeah.
H stands for heat.
Really, like, what's the heat management like that? Like on that, or what do you expect?
I mean, they've been doing. These are the ones that these are usually the laptops that require more heating. But I think the reason they did the H35 is that they could create these gaming laptops that were like under 3 pounds and that can do more stuff. Without being huge and needing a lot of cooling too. So H35 refers to the power wattage and the amount of juice it takes up. The new H series chips need a lot more power. But hey, look at the Razer Blade. Like that thing is a really thin, sleek machine and still manages to fit in stuff like the RTX 3080 and these new CPUs. So like it is solvable. Asus has solved it pretty well too. Like cooling is a thing we figured out.
Talking about fun things to watch, Druv Karmakar 202 says tomorrow Love, Death, and Robots Season 2 comes out. That's great.
That's
love
cool.
An anthology show. Really love an anthology show. So
there's there were some hits and misses on that first season because I think a lot of it felt like very edgelordy, sci-fi, but There's some cool stuff. There was the John Scalzi story about when the yogurt took over, which still like that thing is only like 2 minutes long, but it has like a place in my brain because it's such a well done story.
I like the one with the space farmers where
Space
they
Farmers is cool. Yeah,
had to defend their farms with mechs. And then so people are talking about Dota on Netflix. Is this a Defense of the Ancients?
It is a Dota show.
Dota movie.
Wow.
Show, sorry.
Wow.
I'm not going to be watching it. But
I remember being a small child playing Warcraft 3, looking at the custom games, being like, what is this Defense of the Ancients thing? And
I remember being a child seeing that too, and then crying as Dota and its ilk destroyed Warcraft. Just basically took over that entire genre.
There were so many really interesting custom games that were on like the StarCraft custom games, the Warcraft 3 custom games, and then like slowly, but not slowly actually,
very fast,
pretty quickly, it was literally just all Dota games, and it was me and my friends who were trying to host games of like vampires or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, the world
or
really...
tower defense. It even took over tower defense, which was crazy.
It took over everything, which is kind of what happens, by the way. Like I remember Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament also had like a lot of cool like game modes, and some of those were similar to the battle royale stuff we see now. But there are things I miss. The great 3-wave mod on Quake 3 Arena still can't like find that high again. But yeah.
Okay, we got a classic random tech question coming in from Danny Luing.
Leon.
Excuse me.
Leon.
Let's just let Cher pronounce all of that. But what smart watches do you recommend for fitness under $300?
So if it's purely fitness you're after and under $300, which is by the way a pretty good budget, any of the Fitbit Versas would be good. If you have
Garmin's
more,
are good too, right? Yeah,
Garmin's are good specifically for running.
Yeah.
Because Fitbit's OS is still a little bit more sophisticated. It's just slightly more sophisticated than Garmin. Also Treks, I believe, a bit more than Garmin. And they sometimes look better than Garmin, even though Garmin's doing a good job nowadays with like the style side of things. The Venue 2S just came out, which is not a huge upgrade from the Venue 2, just like some new faces and styles and sizes and bands. So really just an aesthetic upgrade seems like. There's options out there. But it really depends on what you mean by fitness watch. Are you looking for run tracking? Are you looking for swim tracking, gyms, that sort of thing? Or if you want a multi-purpose smartwatch, that's entirely different. So
I guess ecosystem is typically the big choice too, right? And Fitbit is a good thing to get into. Yeah.
Yes, and if you are an Apple person, I would be like, I'm sorry, if your budget's $300, get the Watch SE. Just like there's no way about it. Even a Fitbit won't be as good, honestly.
What is the cheapest normal Apple Watch now? Is it still over $350?
The Series 3 is like $199, I think. You mean the SE?
I mean 6. I mean, like, what is the cheapest?
Oh, the highest one. It starts at I want to say $399, but let me double check.
Yeah. So all these questions really depend on your budget. Yeah. Those start at $399 now.
Oh, I memorized that right. Thank you.
Good job. But yeah, the SE seems good. The SE seems like a good option.
It's really good. That's what I use, and I spend about 2 hours at the gym every day. So it's pretty good. Also want to just say hi really quickly to the people who were saying hi and have been very nice to us in the chat. Josh Sakdeva, I think R7MRBLX joined and said they would be chatting here. Jonathan Anderson says the chat for our Engadget podcast is the highlight for you, which is nice, instead of the actual podcast, which I actually really respect. Don't listen to us, talk to each other. I love that. Then, someone said that we are the best podcast, which thank you very much. I appreciate. I am very bad because I forgot your name right now, but
you can say that, but in a podcast platform review, please.
Oh yeah, take it out there. Take it to the iTunes or the wherever you like to leave your podcast reviews, whether it's Google Maps or whatever. Just be like, 5 stars, best podcast. We love.
So Danny said, thanks for pronouncing my name. And then I apologized for mispronouncing it. And he said, no worries. And thank you for being graceful. We all mispronounce things sometimes, like how Dev mispronounced the word kvetching.
Kvetching, yeah.
Kvetching.
I have no idea
how
to pronounce it.
I am the expert in Yiddish here.
Yes.
Sure.
Kvetching. And then I think, so Jonathan Anderson was the one that said chat is the highlight. I'm still trying to find all the praise. I'm sorry. If y'all have left praise, I'm looking for you.
There was someone who was saying like, oh, why are people not talking about exactly what people on the stream are talking about? And it's like, that's actually great. Like,
it's fine.
Yeah, fine. You can have side conversations if you want. Like, we're not going to be like school principals about it. It's actually fun that there is a community around the show. I like
just
it
be
a lot.
Respectful. That's all.
Yes, please be respectful to everyone else. And really, so far, it seems like this chat has been really lovely to each other.
It's just surprising for YouTube chats, to be honest. So
honestly.
Crew.
This is a great little crew and community and tribe and squad fam lit we have here.
Oh God. So I would like to point out just for a second that one of our video producers, Owen Davidoff, almost never talks to us through our like private channels, but he piped up to say the Dota anime is good, guys. And I said, wow, it took you that much to talk to us. And he said,
totally
I'm a man of culture. That's what he had to say.
He sure is.
Owen's the biggest weeb we've got. Love you. Yeah.
Also, never mind. Can't even say what else he's good at. Anyway, we have a few actual questions. First of all, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sai Finindra. Do you guys think it's time to move on to other messaging apps? I think this is when we were talking about WhatsApp and Telegram. Yes. I have been trying to get people to move out of WhatsApp forever, but Devindra, you use WhatsApp, right?
I mean, I use WhatsApp for group chats. I will probably try to move a lot of those over to Telegram because I'm not like wedded to WhatsApp. But still, like, it's hard. I've had to move a lot of conversations out of Hangouts, and that took a lot of energy. And to be honest, I have lost touch with friends because people just aren't using Hangouts anymore, and they don't want to chat on other platforms. So it is kind of crappy how like this like the way things change just kind of messes with our relationships. But yeah, I move all the time. I'll probably move over to Telegram more than anything.
I don't know how much this is worth talking about, but I think like people messaging each other on Hangouts is a total generational thing, and I just missed out on that.
I mean,
nobody I know uses
it was
Hangouts.
Google Chat. It was GChat
for the longest.
So it was GChat,
and
that was the whole
no one I
thing.
know uses GChat. I think that's kind of something that was happening a bit more before Slack really took over. People even have like friend Slacks. So like you'd be logged into your like work
Slacks.
I hate the friend Slacks. I would never talk about
the friend Slacks. We need
because
to like do a whole
Slack.
episode on this. Yeah, Slack is already the place where all of our work gets done. So when you hear those pings, you're like, ugh. It's like bad, bad Pavlov response to that. But also you have to like switch between your Slack rooms, and there's way too much danger for you to like mistype something in a work Slack room that you meant for the friend Slack room. And there's no way to like juggle. You can't multitask Slack chats easily. So
I mean, there's
stop folks.
Yeah, there's the perennial problem of having maybe a spicy link that you meant to put in the friend Slack, but and I'm not even talking about like the worst of any kind of spiciness. It's just like a meme that might be a little not okay for work.
Exactly.
Really quick, while we were talking about Roku, I like that we have different opinions on Roku in the chat. Danny Leong said, does anyone else hate Roku because they're basically, ads? And then Mark Dell said that they love Mark Dell or Jonathan Anderson, sorry, my chat jumped, said that they like Roku because it's of its UI and I think it's Jonathan Anderson that said that Roku is great, you love their app and UI.
It is. So it's the Facebook problem. You have to deal with apps if you want like a service like this, and you're not paying for it. And the thing about Roku devices is that they're typically far cheaper than like the Apple TV or something. So I have a Roku TV set from TCL that I really like because it's all just kind of built in, but it is one of those things where like, they serve you ads. They sell a lot of your, tracking data and stuff too. So you got to live with it or pay more for something else. Basically, I do like Roku for what it is. Generally they've been good. They have put out ads for like, they had ads for like the Steve Bannon show at some point, and people were like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
he has been banned from every social network. Don't sell his show. So there have been
standards.
things like that. Yeah.
And then I understand there was some questions about what looks like the closed captioning. I hope I'm understanding it right when you asked about the transcript. It is not auto-generated. We do have someone doing the closed captioning live. So it's manual, because live closed captioning can be tricky. So do bear with it. And there is definitely some delay, because this is literally someone trying to type down everything I say. If I went like, a quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, that is the worst thing I could do for
Oh, come on. But
Stop.
How about we take a second to say thank you, captioning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
we like you.
We appreciate that it's really hard work, is what I was about to go on to say. It is really hard work. But we also want to make sure that people who are deaf or hard of hearing can enjoy the live stream. So we have this option. Actually, it was a push, not just because I'm interested in accessibility, but it's an idea thanks to Julio Barrientos on the video team here. So really, it's a team effort. So.
Oh, we've got a good question from Drov Kalmakar 202. Should we be worried about burn-in on OLED TVs in 2021? Is that something that we've gotten figured out?
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb with it. I think that's the, and even for LCDs, don't like leave a single screen, a single image up there for 6 hours or more.
Okay, but
so that's the thing.
Remember that thing we were talking with Mike, who is the social media person for Engadget and several other sites under the Yahoo. Let's start calling it Yahoo, guys.
Yahoo.
But he was saying that I think he watches a lot of Twitch streams and actually got some burn-in from just a static element in a Twitch stream.
So most OLEDs have like a built-in burn-in protector where they like pixel shift a little, I believe, like every couple minutes. But yeah, if you got to be careful, guys. Like, don't leave your Twitch streams open. Don't leave. This was a problem with sportscasts too. You just can't try to keep what's happening, on your screen moving around a little. That's just really all it is. Like, it depends on how long you leave it on. Some people just like to leave their TVs on in the background, which is great, but you got to make sure that's a dynamic image. Just be safe. And the same thing with the long game sessions too. Anything with a long, UI that's on the screen in one place forever could be dangerous. I still think OLEDs are still the best TVs if you can afford them. But the newer things, the mini LEDs, are getting there. They're getting really interesting too, and less burn-in issues there.
So when you're talking about pixel shifting, this is something that the TV itself does, right?
It just kind of like moves things a little bit. You don't even really see it, but they do have built-in burn-in protection. I just think it probably doesn't help if it's a big UI thing that takes up a big chunk of the screen, because then I believe it's like minute pixel shifting, basically.
Okay, I am looking also at the chat. Danny Leong and had another question. What was it? Oh, no, not a question. A nice comment. I do enjoy your reviews, both of you. Always very informative. I will always shout out the nice comments because I like praise.
That's nice.
It makes
Thank
me feel
you.
good.
Especially on a hard week like this. Just suck up all the praise.
Oh, yeah.
Want to note, Mark Dell is saying he really wants an OLED monitor with Retina burning HDR. We're not really seeing that on the monitor front, which is interesting. But we are seeing mini LED computer monitors coming that can hit 1,000, 2,000 nits. You don't want a screen that bright right in front of your face, but apparently some people do. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, so they can see it from far away. I don't know.
Sure. That's how you use your computer monitor.
No, I wanted to buy my friend, get my friend to buy an OLED monitor. We talked about this in an early episode where she wants to see something from her bed, but she doesn't want to buy a whole TV. She was going to buy the iMac. And I was like, bitch, you don't need the iMac.
iMac is a very bright screen, to be honest. So yeah.
But she was looking for that sort of experience that she could see from far away, and I was just like, what you really want is this external monitor.
Yeah, just like a 27-inch external or something.
Yes, that's all she needs, because she wants to Netflix on an iMac. I'm like, you have a laptop. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Anyway.
This is what it's like to be talking tech stuff with a friend like me.
Yep.
I think we might be headed toward leaving, because we've got stuff to do. We've got a podcast to edit. So I would like to thank our video team. The stream comes to you via our video team, which is led by Kyle Mock with Owen Davidoff, Julio Barrientos, and Luke Brooks. But again, it's powered by everyone in the chat. We have had a mutual love fest today. We love the chat, and I think the chat likes us also. So if you've stuck around this long, just rate us on iTunes or like the Google Podcast app, or
mainly iTunes.
Mainly iTunes. Well, yeah, because we were just talking about Apple dominance. Unfortunately, Apple Podcast also dominates podcast ratings. So you're into Engadget. You know how these silly algorithms control our lives. So it helps more than you think. So leave us a rating, and we'll see you next week.
Later, Thanks for joining.